Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I will continue trying to teach you how to make your own Discord bot, and in this video we'll make some easy function that exists in many other bots, but it is very great to practice your ability to make bots, to understand how they work, and to understand how to get functions, methods, and properties existing in Discord.js that Discord can provide you. We will use this website, as I said in last video. You can enter it by entering discord.js.org, and I will provide a link in the description. Then you go to documentation, and here you can choose the version of the library. I will use 11.6.4, where it is here. And here you can get all functions, all methods, and all properties that Discord can give you to manage like this. Well, what are we going to do? We're going to make a script that will give you an exact role, that will give a user an exact role when he pushes their reaction. Like, you have written a message like this is test, then you add a reaction, the bot keeps it, and when someone other or you again press this reaction, you will be given a role. I have some roles here. I will delete them. Well, what should we do? As the task says, we need to keep a message. Let me write it. A reaction and a role. We need these three parts of information to be kept in our bot and to manage with them. So what is the easiest way to keep them? It's a JSON object. It's just an array in our program. Let's make it var roles maybe, and it's an array. And how will it be done? It will be an array of objects. Then var test object. I will just show how it will look like, and we need these three things: message, reaction, and role. First, we will keep a message, so we need a message. And we will keep its ID because it is unique, and we can get a message ID by its... we can get a message by its ID and its channel. About the channel, it will be like your home assignment. I'll give some advice for you, because Discord isn't so easy, and you will understand that a bit later. Then we need a reaction. Let's fulfill it. Message ID like this. Then we need a reaction, and we will take and we will keep an identifier of the message, of the reaction emoji, to just compare it with the thing that is added. And the last is role. Like, identifier should look like this. And the last thing is the role, as I said, and we will also keep its ID because it is also unique. And we can get a role by its ID and the guild where it exists. Well, it is also like this, but other numbers. And so this is a test object. It's an example of how we'll keep it. Let's comment it. And we have to set these functions somehow. In future videos, we will make it on a website where you will authorize through Discord and enter these three things, and the bot will make everything other automatically. But today we will make it just like a message. So we make an event button message, and we get a message like it was said in the previous video. The link is in the description, and in the advice in the suggestions, as I know, as they are named in Discord or in YouTube. Well, button message. I misclicked. And here we should make a command. I will just make it like we get a string, and work with it. So the string will be like rea role. Then we provide a message ID. Then we leave one space and just mention roles we need to make on this message. So this is the example of the command. Now let's make the bot execute some code when this command is entered. The unique part in this command is this part. So we make if message.content, and it starts with this text, and then we execute something. How I understand it, that starts with will work on message content and what message content is. I go to Discord.js org, I enter message here, I find it like this. Here I get content and I understand that it is type string. So starts with should work with message content. And as it is written here, it is the content of the message. Like to this message it will return this is test. Well, now we should get a message ID. Let's notice that it is split. It is rounded by 2 spaces, so we can just split this string, the string of message content, with spaces. Let's do this. Let msg, why not, is equal to message.content.split and space. Now the msg will be an array. What is msg? It's an array like this. It's a string, but it will be a string. Then it's this, and then it is this. For this string, for this type of command, it will be like this. Great. So the thing we need, it is the second thing in the array. It is the second like object in the array. So to get message ID, let it name like it is in our command. Message ID is msg first, because it counts from 0, like 0, first, second, and so on. It's msg first. Well, great. So the next thing we should take from this message is roles that were mentioned. We again go here, and in the message collection, like a message object, we can find something like a property named mentions. It gives all mentions that the message contains, like this here. It returns message mentions. Let's click here and find that we can get roles. Great, let's get them. Message.mentions.roles. Now we have collected, we got a collection of all roles that were mentioned in this message. And then, if you know what collections are, you can use for each and loop through all the roles that were mentioned. In every next iteration, we will get a new role. That's an object of role. Let's find it here. It's role, and here we can take something. We will need today we will need only an ID. Yeah, it is unique, as I said. So we will use it, and if you will need something, some other properties or some other methods, you can enter this website and find what you need here. Well, great. Role, let's make it like an arrow function, and then we let role ID equals to role.id. So what we have to do next? We have to make an object like I made an example here. Let's copy it. Let new rerole object and provide these arguments. First is message ID. We have taken it here, so message ID. Role ID. What is role ID? We have taken it here. Great. And the next thing we have to do is a direction identifier. I misclicked again. Well, we have no reactions in this message, so we'll make some like a trick. When we will just write need here. You will understand it a bit later when we will change it. First it will be just need, like the reaction is needed. You'll understand it, as I said. And then we have to push this object to our array that is global. Then you can make writing this array to the file, not to keep it in RAM. It will make some optimization, and when the bot restarts, our global variable will be deleted. But if you write it to a text file, it won't be deleted. Well, great. We push. Let's make some customizations to make it just a bit easier to understand, like one line except of 4. Well, let's get ID, so we don't need this again. Great. Now we have kept the array. What should we do next? We should make reactions and then give the role. There are two ways of doing it. First is await reactions. I won't use this, but I think you can try this and like an exercise. Await messages. I will make another video about this, so subscribe please. But now we won't use this. Await messages. No. We need await reactions. Await reactions. Here it is. So, but I will use like another, maybe a bit easier way to do this. We will go to the client and find an event we need. It's a message reaction add that we need. It is emitted whenever a reaction is added to a cached message. About a cached message I will say a bit later in the end of the video, I think. So let's set this event bot.on message reaction add, and like it is set here, we are provided message reaction and the user. So let's name them like reaction and user. Great. So then we need to write it here. So if the message where the reaction was added is existing in our array, so we have to change one need to the identifier of the reaction. Great. So let's loop through the reroles array. I is less than reroles dot length and +1. So if I equal dot message ID equals to reaction dot message dot ID. Where have I found here? I found this. We provide message reaction here, and we can find it here. We can understand message, and message can provide us its ID. You can do the same things, like just you see an event, you see that it provides message reaction, you click on it and find what you need. I need message now. reaction.message.id. Well, if it is equal and if reaction identifier is need, so rea roles either I dot reaction identifier equals to need. We should change its reaction identifier. To make this, we just make it equal to reaction.emoji.identifier. Again, we go here, we get message reaction, we get emoji, it's emoji or reaction emoji, like reaction emoji for example, and here we can find identifier. And the same here, we can also find identifier. You can read this and understand what is the difference. Well, it's emoji, and here we have identifier too. They are the same. That's like idea of the picture of the emoji. Let's console log it to understand how does it look like as I showed here, but now I will show it like it is in Discord, a real example. Well, we send this message, and we make a reaction, and it writes here. Well, great, it's identifier the emoji. Great. Now, if we have binned it, one line in one object in our array to this emoji, and we don't have to do others because one emoji should be equal to one row. So here we made this, and then we just make return because we have changed one need to something to some emoji, and we don't need to change other needs to the same emoji. They will be changed in other loop of the event. Like we add one emoji. Let's think that we have an array of 3. This array is equal now to 3 objects. Here we have something, and we have a need reaction, and we have a role 1. The same here, but I just trying to explain you why I am doing like this, why I make return. Maybe you have already understood, but I should try to make everyone understand, so I make it clear. Well, if we have such an array, here we will find need, and we will change this need to something like this, and then we will break this event, and when this event is emitted again, let me close the window, and when the event is emitted again, we will change the second row to something other. Let it be like this. But if we don't make a return, we will make it like this. Our array will become like this, and it isn't good because one emoji is binned to 3 rows, and we won't change it. So we just make a return. Well, great. Now, if we haven't entered this return statement while we loop through the array, we just make a new loop and add a role to the user that has reacted. Well, if message ID is like this again, here we won't need a return. I think you understand why, if you haven't understood this. And if reaction identifier is the same as this, we just add a role. But the problem is that the user doesn't have a role. User.add role, and it doesn't exist, and it really doesn't exist. If we go here, we make user, and we have nothing connected to roles here. So what should we do? We should get the guild member. Here I will show it. Guild member. And the guild member has add role. So we should, as the ID of the user and the member is the same as I said in the previous video, we can just find this user on the server where this reaction was added. Great. So we make like reaction.message.guild. We get the server where the reaction message is, and then we get members, which is a collection. Let me show it. We have got guild. Then we can find here members, and it gives a collection of all members of this guild. So we can just loop it and find what we need, but I will do it a bit different. I can't find it here, but you can use .get on the collection and provide ID here. Where do we get an ID? It's user.id. Now we can get the guild member of this user on this guild, and then we can use add role. It gives me and add the needed role. As you can understand from here, our role, the ID of our role is kept in the role ID of the real roles iter, in the real roles I. Well, why add role needs an ID? It can use ID, and I will show it now. Guild member I said, add role, and we can just provide ID here to add a role. Great, that should work, I think. Let's test it now. We can start the bot. It is online now. This is a test message. Then we write our command. Let's just copy it. We copy the ID of this message, provide it here, and then we have to mention some roles. I have here 1, 2, 3, and 4. Great. We put it like this, and then we add reactions. It hasn't set any roles, but when we add a reaction, it does give us a role. But it isn't like beautiful when you make it like this, because bot doesn't make nothing. So let's make some customizations. When we write a command, there is something like a feature of for each loop. It doesn't loop mentioned roles in order that they were mentioned. They are looped in order they were created in Discord. So if I make like this, reactions are for each loop will get those roles in this order. But if I make the command like this, and for example I change 4 and 1 here, this command will for this command will also give this order, and that's the error sometimes if the roles aren't 1, 2, 3, 4 or some and they are something normal, like normal roles. It can be a problem. So let's loop again the array of real roles and write the order of the roles that they added to the array. From 0 to real roles.length and ++. and here we just make message.channel.send like in the previous video, and we send here that we just send a role, I think. So we mention the real roles role ID, and that's what we need. Now we will, after writing after writing this command, we will get the order of the roles that they were pushed into the array. Great. The next thing I would like to make. First, if I delete my emoji, it deletes it all. It isn't very good, so let's make the bot react the same reaction when we are here, when we change our need to the reaction. So we make like reaction dot message dot react. It's the function on the message. Let me show it. Here we find message, and here we have react. We just provided the name of the reaction here, in fact. So react, and we react like reaction. No, not like this. Reaction dot emoji dot name. That's what we need. Now the bot will add a reaction itself to this message. So we won't be able to delete the reaction only by deleting our reaction. We will should do it like this. And the next thing I would like to make is the bot should show what reaction is linked to the exact role. And here, like, let's do something like the same. We should send reaction dot message dot channel dot send, and we will say like emoji is linked to the role, and here we will mention a role. First emoji. We can just make reaction emoji name. Reaction emoji name is linked to the role something, but reaction emoji name should be provided like this. To the role, and the role that is here is real roles i.role id. Great. Now it will write something. Maybe you have noticed that it should give an error, but I will show it now. This is test. Then we write this. It gives us the list of the roles. Then we add reaction, and it is linked to two roles in one time. What's the error? The error is that I have added a reaction. It has made this. Then the bot had added a reaction, the second reaction, as we see, test has reacted with something, and it executed this event again and linked this. We don't want this to happen, so like in previous video we make a check if user is a bot, then we just make return and don't execute this event. That's all we need, I think. But to make it more beautiful, we should delete this. Great, now it should work as we want it to do, as we want it to work. So this is test. We write it, then we write real role. We copy the ID of the message. We make a command 1342. Then we add 1, 3, 4, and 2 will be like this. They are all linked. For example, if we click this now, it provides us role A1. It gives us role 1. We press this, we get the role 2 like it is linked here. Let's get the role 4, for example. It is tada. So delete and add. Great, it works. So it works, but if we restart the bot, it won't work. It is like your home assignment to understand how to make the bot not to lose information. The advice is just make a JSON file like real rules.json and just write this array to this file. Well, or even better, don't keep the array in RAM and just read it from file when you need it. Well, and the last thing I would like to mention is cached messages. What is this? Even if the bot doesn't lose information from this array, it isn't able to emit this event on the messages that were sent before the bot started. Like, let me show. Let's make some console log here. Console log like test. I started, then you can see the console here. I write a message, I reacted, and it gives test here. But if I react like this message, it doesn't give test here, even if I make this message. Because these messages aren't cached as they were sent before the bot started. What to do to fix this? I will show you the exact example, but you can make another array that won't lose when the bot starts, and you will keep all messages to fetch in that array. So we go to discord.js. We make a find line here, and we make fetch messages. We need fetch messages to fetch the message and to make it cached. Fetch message. Like channel.fetch message and ID of the message. So what do we need? We need to get a channel where the message is, like bot channels get, and it's like this channel, copy ID, and then message dot fetch message. I don't know why it doesn't provide it to me. Let's copy it. Dot fetch message, and here we provide like an ID of the message, like this, copy ID, fetch message, like this, and it is an async function, so we can use then and get the message. It's the collection, the object that the message is, like this. We get the message like this, and we can get all this. So let's, for example, to understand that it really works, console.log message.content, for example, and that's what we need. Well, we start the bot, and now this is a test. And if we add a reaction here, it does do test, but this still doesn't do because it isn't cached. And if we write new message, it also gives test because this is a cached message as it was sent after the bot started. So that's all for this video. That's all I would like to tell you in this video. If the video was helpful, or you have understood something new, or you have got something new, or it was just interesting, please subscribe the channel, press the like button, press the bell button not to lose other videos. In the next video, as I said, we will try to make our own website. It's very hard to do yourself, and it's rather interesting task, I think. So please subscribe the channel, and if you have some questions, you can enter my Discord server and write me your question. I will try to help you. Here it is. The link is provided also in the description. Thank you very much for watching this video. Goodbye. I will wait for you on the next video. Thank you.